I'm back from the gym, and despite it being my day off, I still have to participate in the daily rat race. So, to cut a long story short, my gym is in a place called Ealing. Ealing has nowhere to park. The only place I can park is in the Broadway shopping centre, but I don't really like parking there, and I'll tell you why later. Well, I'll explain why a bit later on. So I have to park in this place called Greenford, which is in Zone 4. I have to take a bus then to the gym that I want to use, full of fucking people at 11 a.m. for some reason. I had to listen to some woman fucking complaining about a shitty job on the phone, which put me in a bad mood because I don't want to listen to that shit. I get into the gym, fucking bunch of kids around the bench press area, so you can't really use it. You have to wait for like another half an hour to use the fucking bench press. And I spend around 2 hours there, longer than I should, because the gym gets so populated that you can't even fucking use anything. You have to wait a shitload of time to use the equipment you want to use. Now, I don't park in the shopping centre car park because A, they charge a fucking hefty fee, and B, I don't actually know how long I'll be at the gym. So, for example, I could be aiming to be there for just over an hour, but actually I could be there for like 2 hours, and I get back to my car and I've only paid for like 2 hours, and then I could be about 3 to 5 minutes late into getting my car, and then I have to pay a fine to the fucking council. And these fucking councils in London, they are just there to make money off the average citizen. They are there to fucking fine you, whether you're a road user or not. And road users get it the worst because we have to pay for our cars, pay for our MOT, pay for our road tax, our insurance, and then when we want to park somewhere, we can't even park. Now, Ealing Council have these stupid fucking restrictions, like where you can't park from like 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So, I can't really park there. Otherwise, I'm taking a gamble, because if you happen to leave your car there 5 minutes past 3, all of a sudden you have to pay a fucking £50 fine. And these councils make life so difficult for the average citizen. So difficult. They just want to depress us. They're like a mafia. A gambling mafia. They want to take a gambling, organization, or a better probably example is a bunch of loan sharks. They just want to take money off the average citizen, because our lives now are so difficult, and they want to compound on our misery to give us all these fines. And these unelected, well, some of them are elected, some of them are elected, sorry, but these bureaucrats in the local councils and in the Greater London Authority, if you look at their job profiles, they literally don't do anything. They are there to make money off us. And they take money through council tax, they take money through the taxes, and they get paid by the state. And then they get paid even more money from the fines. That they are literally like leeches, sucking our blood, making life extremely difficult for us. And it wasn't always like this. In the 1990s and in the 2000s, there were a lot less restrictions in London. People could go about their daily lives and enjoy themselves. People could work low-income jobs, yet still survive and still have fun. Now, you can't survive on a low-income job. And even if you're slightly middle income, you can't really have any fun in this city. Then the local councils, they pat themselves on the back. Oh, we've made all these new buildings, blah, blah, blah. But those new buildings are literally unaffordable for your average Londoner. And most of them get bought out by property developers from abroad. And the people who move in are not even from London or the UK. They're like rich people from elsewhere. And the people in power are literally sucking the life out of this city and out of the people who live here. And I'm not going to just blame the current mayor or the current local councils, because we've all been going on a downhill trajectory over the last 20 years. over the last 20 years or so. Because I remember the 1990s and the early 2000s, the life was a hell of a lot better. A hell of a lot better. But the councils have decided we need to put more restrictions on working people and make life extremely difficult for them. And if you're a working person, all you can wonder is, how do I survive in this city? When even on my day off, it's a rat race. And to explain things even further, I've got friends who go to work. They literally drive and park in a tube station and take the tube to work. And in the tube, they are packed like a can of sardines. And it's not just the road users who are getting the brunt of it. People who pay for an Oyster card, a monthly Oyster card, I don't know how much that could cost, like a Zone 1 to 4 monthly Oyster card, must cost a shitload of money. And then they get into their train and they're packed like they're in a can of sardines. They're completely packed in this train going to and from work. And then even worse, your train may not end up at your destination. You need to get off, use another train, or the trains are not working at all. And whilst these bureaucrats are lining up their pockets even more, we as a people, we as working people, we're making less and less. Well, we're not making less money, but we're not able to survive with the money we have because of all these restrictions, all these fucking fines, the taxes that are constantly going up, the prices of food and petrol and whatever that go up. And we can barely survive. You know, we are literally neck deep in water, gasping for breath. And I wonder how long people will take this. Because I remember, I think in Birmingham earlier this year, there were people literally telling traffic wardens to fuck off. We're not going to pay these fines. We're literally not going to pay these fines because this council's fucking corrupt and you're fucking corrupt. And London is literally an unlivable city. It's becoming one, if it isn't there already. Which is sad, because if you look historically, London's one of the greatest cities in the world with a rich history and beautiful buildings and really big architecture, old architecture. And some people say, well, not everyone can park everywhere. And look, I understand. Zones 1 to 2, I understand why there's parking restrictions everywhere, but it doesn't have to be fucking city-wide. It doesn't have to be city-wide. There should be roads where people can just park. I understand zones 1 to 2, because everyone and their grandmother will park there. But let people go from point A to point B so that they can enjoy themselves from now and then. But these heartless people who are controlling the councils and who are in the Greater London Authority, they just don't care about us. And I'm not going to blame one political party because they've all been shit. And unless a political party or a bunch of citizens can come together and say, let's go back to what worked in the 1990s and the 2000s when life was a lot more cheerful in London, where people could survive on low income jobs. Let's go back to those days. Because unless somebody is there to say that, unless somebody says, well, let's go back to what worked, we're just going to get even more of this crap. And then I wonder what's going to happen to all the people who move out of London. Where they're going to live? In Slough? Really? I don't know. Basingstoke? Now, no offense to these places, but then you have to move out of the city to places where you may not know who those people are, start a new life, and you're not guaranteed to have a good life in those places either. Maybe you can scrape by better over there in those places, you know. They probably pay less taxes and things are probably cheaper. However, if you have friends in this place in London, friends and family, then what do you do? What do you do? So yeah, this city can be extremely brutal and an extreme fucking piss take. Because You can even be a road user and then have to take the fucking public transport, which is shit, which is a huge mess, to go to work or to enjoy yourself, in your leisure time, or to go shopping or whatever. These restrictions don't have to be there. The people in power, they can just show some compassion, show some love, but they don't want to. They want to smack us and hold us down. And it's sad. It's sad because this is, like I said, one of the greatest cities in the world, historically speaking. And it's sad to see this place go down in such a short space of time. Very sad indeed. I don't know what you guys think about this rant, but after going to the gym and coming back, I just felt I needed to share this to people. Because how can this go on? How can this go on? You can't have fun at all. You can't live your life. And it's a shame. It's a huge shame.